Alright, in this video I'm going to be installing an M.2 NVMe SSD drive into my MSI Gaming Plus motherboard, and the one I picked was this Western Digital Black SN850X. This one does not have the included heatsink on it because this motherboard comes with a heatsink. You can see it just above the graphics card right there, and it also comes with thermal pads on the back of that heatsink. So before you buy an SSD with a heatsink, I would suggest you look at your motherboard and see if it comes with a heatsink with the thermal pads attached. Anyway, I was going to do a video with a disk cloning tutorial, but when I upgraded from Windows 10 to 11 before doing this, it killed my hard drive. And you can see where the M2 drive, there's a lower one that goes on the bottom, and that's the M2.2, and then there's an upper one, which is the M2.1. I'm going to install into the M2.1 because it has the heatsink. You can see there's some pictures of it there. And when you look at your user manual as well, obviously there's some pictures on what to do, but it'll also tell you which combination of M2 drives will work with which combination of SATA ports. And you can see if you use the M2.1 or M2-1, everything will be active or available. But if you use the M2-2, not everything will be unavailable. There'll be unavailable SATA for your motherboard. So M2-1 is the one I'm going to go for. But like I said, when I did the upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 on my old SSD, it just blue screened to death me. So I'm going to have to go back and mess around with that. Thankfully, I was doing a lot of cloud storage stuff, so all my files were good. I just had to re-download the apps, and then I had to resynchronize some of the game stuff for Steam and Uplay, but that was mainly for the kids. The SSD was really full as well, so I got a 1 terabyte NVMe drive. I do already own one of these Western Digital drives, and I found it to be a very fast hard drive, so I was happy with the performance, so I got another one. So the first thing I'm going to do is get this GPU out of there, and that is a Asus TUF 3070 Ti that I'm using. And then really for removing the heatsink and doing all of this, you just need one small screwdriver. So if you have like an eyeglass screwdriver set, that would be really all you need to do this job. And obviously the power is off to the computer because it's up on my table and taken apart. So everything like that is done. These screws are also very tiny, so just make sure you don't drop them when you're working on this. And like I said, the M2 drive is going to go in at a 30-degree angle as it slides in, and you can see there's a little blank space there, and that is going to face down in this motherboard. And I would assume that that's the same for all motherboards, where that little the slot goes on the bottom. So like I said, 30-degree angle, push it in, and then push it down. I don't know if the M2 slot is spring-loaded or what. It won't sit flush until you put that screw in. I know the picture in the book indicates that you're not supposed to screw it all the way down to the motherboard. I don't even know that that's possible anymore because they do have those little standoff spacers that the screw screws into. So it's really just as far down as it can go, and that's about all you're going to get out of it. And then for this heatsink, it's got, like I said, the thermal pads on the back, but you do need to take off the piece of plastic which exposes the thermal pad. And then it's ready to get installed on top of the M2 drive. So again, just those two screws, put those in and it should be good to go. Now I have two hard drives in this computer still. One is the SSD that sort of failed when I did the Windows 11 upgrade, and the other one is a 2 terabyte hard drive that we dump all the kids' video games and stuff on, and where I save a lot of the partially edited videos for my YouTube channel as well. And obviously I'll have to reinstall the GPU back in the computer, but that's pretty much the only thing that's left to do here. Overall, installing these M2 NVMe drives is super fast, super easy. And as long as your computer's working well, it should work just fine. And like I said, I would look at your motherboard before you go out and buy one and see if you already have the heatsink, because you save about $20 or $30 if you don't have to buy the heatsink, generally speaking. Sometimes the ones with heatsinks are on a good sale, but that's generally not the case. I did download Windows 11 onto that hard drive for the startup file, and then I use that as my installation. And then for the activation code, I'm actually still using my Windows 10 activation code. So if you have a Windows 10 product key that you purchased, that activation code seems to work for Windows 11, which is nice because the Windows 11 upgrade, like I said, I don't know what it did to my hard drive, but it is definitely not working well. So everything works really well. The Windows 11 installation goes well. It was free because I had the Windows 10 activation key. And also because I saved everything in cloud storage, obviously there's a whole bunch of Windows upgrades to do. And because I did all my backups as cloud storage, pretty much everything was saved. So you can see all my files are already there while I'm just sort of booting up here. And everything works well. So overall, really fast and easy process. And these M.2 NVMe drives are awesome. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.